Welcome to the Big Biz Show. Taking care of business. You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, and Greg. Now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
Hey, he found it.
And a big old howdy to you, wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening. Welcome to the Big Biz Show inside the Loft 100 studios, otherwise known as None Your Business today. Sully and Greg are off doing some important things. So Mary Godwin,
top secret things.
Myself, we are holding down the fort.
Yes,
this is really special, though, special show. Even though Sully's not here, 8/9 of Sullivan in the house. On the stage today.
We love you guys.
Now, apparently he might be back for a band rehearsal with Sullivan.
Maybe.
But that's not my problem.
Best band in the biz.
We've got him for the whole show, which is a treat for us. Normally we have the Day Trader Trio. Certainly is awesome as well. But today, as I said, we've got Sullivan here in studio with us. And we got a great show coming your way. Joining us right now, though, is our market analyst, Mr. Howie Font. Howie, apparently he and Sully now have the ability to predict the future when it comes to things like tariffs in our great country. Howie, how you doing, my friend?
Let's pause things. I just need to say something very important. Can we congratulate Mary on a happy birthday month? Can we just give a round of applause?
Yes, Howie.
That's great, Howie. Thank you. Oh, look at that.
Oh my God.
That's so awesome.
I love it.
How do I look?
To you.
Oh, I got a song and everything.
Happy birthday,
You guys are the best.
Mary. Happy
Where's the
birthday to you.
Oh, on my head.
Nice.
Here it
Howie,
is.
you know what?
Thank you, Howie.
This is a dangerous precedent you're setting. Because now this is all we're going to hear about throughout the show today, probably tomorrow, until the end of...
How many more days? 6 more days.
It's her birthday.
I think me and Sullivan, 8/9 at least, and viewers like you everywhere wanted to be in for that.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Yeah, it's
into April in New York. You're going to be joining me, actually, right? To
very, very
celebrate
excited.
in New York.
Are you guys gonna try to hook up?
I don't know, possibly.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'm coming. I'm inviting myself.
Love it. Love it. Howie, what's going on with the tariffs, and are they having the sought-after effect from President Trump that he wanted to have?
Yeah, I'm so glad actually that we're doing a Nunya today because I don't want to give Sully any public credit, or at least credit to his face. But he and I do have conversations off the show, and we were having this kind of back and forth about tariffs and saying, this is. I've said it on the show, it brings a lot of uncertainty to markets. The markets are coming down because of that. We've lost all the gains from the election. Well, the market rallied big, actually. It came back up from its bottoms, and we're basically at where we started the year, which is pretty good. And that's because, as Sully predicted, the Trump administration's kind of in control of the messaging, and the market goes up when they want it to and down when they want it to, and they know what they can endure and what they can't. So Sully's prediction was that Trump comes out with an announcement, scales back tariffs, market rallies, he looks like a hero. That kind of exactly played out on Sunday night and Monday morning when they announced that instead of doing full sectors, so saying like all manufacturing or all agriculture, it's going to have an X level tariff. They're going to be much more prescriptive about it. So we haven't seen that, the level of that, but it's kind of a magnitude down from what we thought it was going to be, if that makes sense.
Was that the strategy all along, do you think?
A 3D chess, Mary, 3D chess. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What else could it be? What else could it be? Would you, Mary, you're not implying that there was a negative reaction in the public markets and the administration changed their policy?
Howie, I got 5 words for you. The art of the deal. That's all it is. All right, listen, keep it here. Howie's going to be back with us on the other side. If you get an email in the next couple days saying, hey, we're thinking of bombing this country, just erase it. Just erase it. Don't go into it.
Email or a chat.
Yeah. We'll talk about that with Howie Font as the Big Biz Show rolls on. Keep it right here. We continue live from the Loft 100 studios. It is the Big Biz Show. In over 175 countries, all the ships at sea on the American Forces Network. Shout out, as always, to the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. Costa, Mary Bird Godwin, Greg Todd, Rob, and Sully.
Great to have you on. We're talking about unconscious spending, otherwise known as the latte factor. And that, what is that again, Howie? Give me an example of you said ATM fees and buying a cup of coffee a day or Red Bull and Funyuns.
Exactly. We're talking about
Bits. You have Bagel Bits in the glove box, don't you?
Instacart fees.
Yeah.
They're so good.
But Bagel
DoorDash
Bits are
fees.
not good.
Yeah.
I
like everything you like. I like everything you like. Okay? I like mayo for dipping. I understand. But Bagel Bits feel like the stuff they pack Amazon stuff in.
I eat them like shelled sunflower seeds.
Did you really? So Mary, I want to go around and talk about unconscious spending, and Mary said something about Instacart.
Instacart and DoorDash are two things I do because I am busy. My kids are busy. I don't have time to make their lunches sometimes, so I DoorDash their dinner to the dance studio sometimes.
How much? So you pay?
There's lots.
Is there a
fees.
premium on DoorDash?
Yeah, there's fees.
Is
Yeah.
it just a tip?
No.
there's
Also an actual fee. Yeah. For sure.
And I use a certain.
I'm gonna Instacart something.
Plus, if you're doing it during surge time where everybody's ordering dinner,
surge time.
Costco
Yes.
as well.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Like every time is
Allegedly.
time for you. I want to say the reason I think it's okay for you to do Instacart, for example, which is basically grocery shopping delivery to you.
Sure.
Okay, and you pay a premium for that. I see you pay a premium for that. And the reason that's good is because you not having to take 20 minutes to drive to the store, 20 minutes, 30 minutes in the store. Let's say it's 5 minutes to the store. Okay, it's 45 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
Where you make a call. Now, is that extra $10 you spend on a $50 grocery bill, let's say, I don't know if it's 20% more, but let's say it's at a $60 grocery bill, is that $10 worth more to you than the time that you're saving? I think that it
ebbs and flows, but there are some times when I have to do the Instacart. I certainly don't have the time.
Such a
Other
good
times
point
I
about
think
ebbs and flows, by
I'm
the
just on the couch and watching Netflix. I probably could have gone to the grocery store.
Yep.
So
That's the test.
which basically gets you off the couch.
Yeah.
It's not about the money at that
It's the
point.
blood flowing.
right. Gets me steps on
Exercise.
my fitness app.
I have the greatest. Have you ever an espresso at home or a Keurig?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's the greatest thing.
For sure.
If you like, I mean, they really are as good as anything you could get.
Without a doubt.
I mean,
So
because
inexpensive.
I got the one with the milk thing on the side, with the thing, and you hit up, and you can pick the thing whether it's a ristretto or a lasagna or a cappuccino or whatever. It's like I feel like George Jetson.
It totally is.
Right, and you can literally pour a little bit of milk in the thing, put it there, do that, come back, and it's all done.
But if you do that, who's going to misspell your name on the side of the cup? I mean,
Okay, so
Sally.
I'm just saying.
people that spell their name, my name is Sarah with a H.
Yeah.
Who cares? It's S-A-R-A-H-Y.
Michael, it's Mike with a Y.
And to say, as long as you're talking about this, that bugs me. Barry says, hey, everybody, Barry got to do that. Barry got to do that. Shut up. You're not on stage. Just give me my cup. But my thing is, I tend to get up and do a surf check. I make coffee in the morning.
Okay.
Do a surf check and stop on the way back at a coffee place just because I'm used to stopping there.
Oh.
Now,
What do you
all
do?
right.
What do you get? You
Get another coffee.
You get an additional coffee.
And then I tip them.
Okay.
That's $7 or $8
Right.
every single day for no reason other than I'm just used to it.
Well, and as busy as you are, that we all know you are.
But I'm not busy.
But I'm saying
Not
that's
that time of
like
day.
10 minutes where that adds up there, kid.
Yeah,
Well-
the second coffee, I don't know if that might qualify as to your latte experience.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
What is your guilty pleasure? Do you have one?
Perfect Foods bars. Yes.
Oh, you just had a $7.
Right, exactly.
James,
$7.
James,
No, they're nuts. I've told him a million times not to exaggerate.
James, you're a perfect food bar guy.
Pretty good.
You introduced me to those things. Yeah. Are you still down there? What is your deal? I know your thing is buying sweets for everybody else. James doesn't eat
Yes.
sugar.
He's a
doesn't
pusher.
eat meat. Yet he buys me a
pusher.
roast beef sandwich and a jelly donut
Such
every
a
freaking
pusher.
Well, my buddy wants to come in and do sushi for everybody. So
Okay. All right.
you guys-
Good. Is that
I like
your guilty pleasure?
I like that.
Do you even have a guilty pleasure for you? Because I know that you invest every nickel you have.
Yeah, I'm pretty tight.
Parsimonious?
I mean, in the city, it's pretty negligent of me, I think, to do an Instacart or delivery because
Don't you live over a grocery store?
Right. Within a 2-block walk, there's so much. But I'll get lazy every once in a while, and the guilt I have from that, kind of like the guy in.
As a single young man, you can't justify Instacart. I'm sorry.
This is the same guy.
Sorry. Not to mention, grocery stores are a pretty good place to go.
Did I ever tell you the story that Howie told us about the fact when he was moving from one apartment to another, he carried his mattress.
Attaboy.
How many blocks?
COVID was a time, 40.
40 blocks. What?
No, you did not.
No, because, he's saved himself $30. Was it a futon or like a full-blown mattress? On top of the taxi.
From 89th Street to 66th.
Yeah.
How big was the mattress? I got to know how big the mattress was.
Queen size.
Well, it was,
I don't know.
It was a full, and it was Tempur-Pedic, so it had a little bend to it. I put it on top of my head, and I walked in the bike lane on a Friday.
I need pics
in
of that.
in downtown Manhattan.
No video?
Unbelievable.
And by the way, nobody even turned their head.
Of course not.
Of course not.
Boy, today's sure is boring.
I kid you about Funyuns and Bacon Bits, but
No, it is.
Are you
It
a
is.
7-Eleven? Like when you go get gas, you got to walk inside?
Yeah, I'm going in to get a drink.
Oh, I found my guilty pleasure. Oh my God.
Another one is Costco, but it's not inside. If I go to Costco religiously, I'm having a hot dog or a piece of pizza.
Yeah.
That's just unfair. Like
The
those
food
hot dogs.
court.
And and I don't eat that much meat at all anymore. But I've got to tell you something, man. Those hot dogs at Costco. Have you looked inside of an industrial sausage press, Mike? But still, those
Lips and a-holes, as we say.
Those are. Here's my thing. There is one. Okay. I am Howie. I drove Howie in today.
Okay.
How many phone calls did I make on the way?
By the way, thank you for putting on the little vest and everything as the chauffeur.
Yeah. Put him in the back.
Yeah.
Flip the light on. How many phone calls did I make on the way here in our 20-minute drive?
6, 7. Yeah.
This is me all day, and it's just how I work. And I like doing it from the car because I feel like I'm pacing. I'm driving, and no, I do. I just feel like, okay, this is better. I don't like sitting in an office talking. It makes me crazy because I'll stand up and start pacing. There are 2 full-service gas stations in my radius. Wow. Yeah. Now, what are you paying for a gallon of gas? 6?
$5.80.
Yeah.
Something like
I'm willing to pay the 7 to sit there and just be on the phone.
Oh, really?
But I don't drive very far though.
But look at that chart.
Bring that chart up again,
when you invested, now you're talking your second coffee, the tip, you're paying $1
He's up to $20 a day.
No, 25.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
You're giving up $1 million.
It's $1 million.
No, there's more than that. You're shooting a 5% return.
That is
When's the last time we had a 5% return?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, our average returns, even over the last 40 quarters, has got to be, that's 10 years, has got to be, 7.5 at least.
Here's what we should do. You should give me $1 million, and I'll
There we go.
cash to you.
Problem
and
solved.
then we'll split the winnings.
I think the question here is, can you avoid some of these regular spending? You mentioned you had more. Do you have more than that, or is it just Instacart and DoorDash, or are these other things that just like?
There's just fees. I mean, going through, Hulu, Netflix, all the different things I have there. I have to every few months go in and say, where am I spending? Because I will sign up for a free thing to watch a show. And then
if someone will create a service for me that will do a number of things. Number one, so this is my new thing every morning. You know how many apps you have on your phone? Hundreds of apps, right?
Yeah.
You have them organized little boxes. Mm-hmm. I am now going through one box a day and resolving the apps I don't recognize or don't use anymore. Mm-hmm. Like so in the in the lifestyle app where you have like DoorDash and Instacart.
Yeah.
I also have Sinopolis or whatever. Or
Decluttering.
eBay. Yeah, decluttering. If there was a service that would come and declutter my photographs or organize my photographs into a pile, and then also at the same time, declutter all of the apps at the same time, and then also declutter the people in my life. Well, you get
Well, speaking of, I want to know about
calling.com.
We're gone, you guys.
There's an app called Rocket.
I have Rocket.
Do you?
What is Rocket?
It
Rocket
goes through-
shows you each month what your credit cards are attached to and what you are spending as far as Hulu's and the Apple Pays.
Does it work,
because
and do you
it'll even
suggest it?
right?
Yeah.
Do you suggest it?
Yeah, it has saved me because then it says, do you want to cancel
Rocket?
this? And you're all, yes.
And they
go-
have.
They cancel it all.
Makes me nervous.
Wait,
that
is
you
it
have
an
to-
app called Rocket?
Rocket
Yeah.
Mortgage. I think it's
Rocket Money.
Mortgage. Or
Rocket
Money.
Rocket Money.
So
Howie, here's my question: is that there's got to be stuff you're not going to avoid ATM fees, okay? People have to go to the ATM.
Yep.
Or you're saying, or do they?
Yeah, I'm saying, or do they? I think you can do more. We all have to be more conscious constantly. I joke, but I'm a victim of it too. It's very hard to do, but the opportunity cost.
Is this like buying generic, for example?
buying generic is a perfect example. I always buy. I
buy
care about
generic all
name
the
brand.
time.
You
Yeah.
like plain wrap beer?
I've done that before in my college days.
Well, that ship sailed about 40 years ago.
Yeah.
But
Plain wrap tequila.
you can't.
Certain things you can't go generic
You
on.
can't tell the difference between stovetop and generic stuffing. I guarantee you can't.
Greg,
Is that right?
could you go?
So interesting.
Tell me more, Paul. Could you go plain wrap tequila in a bar? No. I know you.
Perhaps
you don't drink
I
a lot
could.
of tequila, but you drink tequila.
Okay.
You're a connoisseur.
Well, the third
Guilty.
or fourth.
If you had old Fed Cal,
Yeah.
old Savon versus.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. But
right.
Howie's right. The third or fourth tequila, you don't care.
Not at that point. No, not at that
You're on
point.
3 or 4.
great
You were not talking about.
We'll put this chart up to at bigbizshow.com. Mary, do that for us,
I'm
please.
taking it.
And then also the rocket thing. We'll figure out how we.
Yeah, Rocket's awesome.
I'm taking this with my
me.
kids.
All right, very good. More Big Biz Show coming up. Stand by.
Hi, everybody. It's Mike Costa, and welcome to another Business Spotlight. And joining me today, an 11-year veteran of the National Football League. He's an All-Pro. He's a Super Bowl champion, and he is now the co-founder of Praxis Elite Sports Academy Junior Prep. Mr. Nick Barnett is with me today. Nick, always great to see you.
Yes, sir.
How have you been?
Good. Grinding.
Okay, you talk about grinding, and there's so much I want to get into with you today on the show. But normally in the course of an interview, especially professional athletes, former professional athletes, the interviewer will start by talking about your career and the sport and stuff, and at the end of it, talk about why you're really here. We're going to turn the tables a little bit in today's interview. I have plenty of NFL questions, but most importantly, let's talk about Praxis and the genesis of it and how you became the co-founder of it.
Oh man, Praxis has arrived because we were looking for a place to put our child. Right.
Okay.
We have a student athlete who is looking to a smart kid that is really high on his education, but high on his sports as well. Looking for a place to compete with other athletes that are looking to do the same thing. There are a couple places, but not enough. So we created one for San Diego County, and we've been, this is our second year in it, and we've been having great results and having a great time doing it.
How many kids did you have in your very, very first class?
We had 3. It's so awesome looking back at the pictures. You're like, dang. But, we were excited. You thought we had 30 kids.
Nice.
The 3 kids we had were ready to work, ready to grind, ready to be really serious about their education. And it shows what they're doing now in school. We get progress reports from all of our kids, even when they go to high school, to make sure that we're still there and still watching them.
So if people don't know, as far as Praxis is concerned, it's 6th graders to 8th graders, so 6th, 7th, and 8th. And you're getting them ready for that next step, which is high school. When parents come to you and ask you, what's a normal day going to be like for their child? What are they going to be doing? Explain to us what a kid goes through on any given day at Praxis.
Depends on the day of the week, but let's just say today is Monday. We first get there early in the morning. We're doing a strength and conditioning program that's built for each player and is tailored to them. We grind for about an hour and a half some days. It's not a grind, I'll tell you, they love doing this. So
Sure.
But it is a grind, right? Yeah. You got to get better. When our kids are done, their endorphins are going, so they're ready to start school. We get into school, we have school period for the next 2 periods, then we hit lunch. And then for our afternoon workout, it's a sport-specific workout.
Okay.
So, if you play lacrosse, we're out on the field with the stick, hitting against the wall, or whatever, doing agility drills. We do speed training, whatever it is to help you get better at your sport. We're doing that very sport-specific for them. Then we're back in the classroom, and then we finish out the day, and then it's done. This is not something new we invented.
Yeah.
Olympic athletes, kids have been training, doing this for a very long time.
Sure.
We're just giving an environment for all of them to do it together.
Nick Barnett, former Green Bay Packer, former Oregon State Beaver. with us here during the Business Spotlight. When you talk about, I mean, what I would assume from a 30,000-foot view is an immersive program for a kid. As they say, idle hands, you never want the devil, and idle hands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. But this sounds like pretty much from the word get-go until they go home, they're involved in something.
They're involved in stuff from the get-go. We have phone prison for guys. I mean, we have to.
I love it.
We have a small window of opportunity to get better and excel and elevate these kids, right? And anytime that's not, that we have free, it's all gone because we've got to fit in academics. We have to fit in, our athletics and everything in there. So we put those phones in the prison, lock the key, and we're off to work. And then once we get lunch, they can have it, that kind of stuff. So it's a different mindset because we are taking away so much time that we have to be very efficient with the time that we do have.
Do you have a substance abuse counselor that's on hand as the kids go through withdrawals?
Oh, yeah,
from not having that telephone in their face?
You should have seen the first week. It was very hard. There was withdrawal, there was pouting, there was all kinds of stuff going on. Now they volunteer their phones for the prison.
Gotcha.
So they're like, all right, here, take it.
I love it.
But it's crazy.
When kids first come to you, and their parents enroll them or their guardians, whoever it is who are taking care of them, enroll them in the school. What's it like as one of the founders to watch them go from that first day in sixth grade all the way to that last day in eighth grade where you've had this lump of clay, so to speak, that you've been able to help mold, I'm sure with a lot of other people, and then to kind of launch them into the high school of their choice. What's that feeling like?
I can tell you that all my coaches and everybody that works at Praxis, that's like our biggest enjoyment. It's just watching our guys succeed. Hopefully we'll have girls too soon, but we've only had boys so far, and just seeing them excel. We've seen people come in and, they've been not getting the right proper treatment or time in a regular school, and they've came to our school and they've excelled. And we're so happy about that, and just because we were there for that family and there for those kids, so we're excited about that. Each kid that enrolls there, we treat them like they're our kids, and we do, and we still take progress reports on the kids that made it to high school, that are doing great jobs, great things, and the ones that are having trouble, we're still here for them and help them through whatever they're going through. So this is a family, as much as it is a school and an academy. We treat it as a family, and how we think a family should be, right?
Yeah.
So, and we're just making sure we're there to support them.
Now, you're the head coach at Del Norte High School, head of the football program there. Is word starting to get around, and I'm going to stick with football, but you've got athletes from all disciplines going to Praxis, but is word starting to get around like, hey, you got to get yourself a Praxis kid. You want these players in your school, going to school, you want them on your team.
I'm tell you what, I would love to have all the kids that I had at Praxis.
I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would, yeah.
But, not unfortunately, I think families live in different areas. Families need different things. And just as we stand up and we want families to have the opportunity to come to Praxis, we want families to have the choice of where they send their kids to as well,
Gotcha.
And yes, as a coach, I would love to have all of them. And I'm hoping the word gets around that our kids are good kids, that are coachable kids, that are serious about education, and they're going to be good, leaders on the field and off the court, right? Or off field or court, whatever you want to call it.
Right. Now, as you're a couple years into this now, as far as the word of mouth, is it? Are you still trying to get the word out there? Are you still, obviously you always have to market. It doesn't matter how big and popular you are, you always have to keep the word out there. But are you sensing, as you grow as an institution, more eyes and ears are on you?
I do believe so. I think because we're having results with the families that we have, that came through our halls. Yeah. And I think more families are looking for more opportunities for different, alternative learning environments. So with that, we're hoping to be one of the top ones that is out there for your choice if you have a student athlete. Even if your student is not an athlete and just wants to learn how to work out and get in better shape, we're the place for that.
He is Nick Barnett, the co-founder of the Praxis Elite Sports Academy Junior Prep here in San Diego, doing great things with these young people, 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. And on the other side, we're going to talk about that NFL Combine, which I had mentioned. We're also going to talk about funding for his school and how you could possibly get involved as well right after this as the Business Spotlight continues. Welcome back to the Business Spotlight. Nick Barnett is our guest, 11-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion, the head of the Praxis Elite Sports Academy Junior Prep here in San Diego, also the head coach of Del Norte High School football program. Nick, in talking about your academy for sixth graders, seventh graders, and eighth graders, as we all know, especially in today's society, money does not grow on trees. I've got a 22-year-old who I have to take out to the back and show him the money tree's not blooming right now.
I wish I could find it. I wish I could find that tree.
We've got to be smart here. Talk about, though, the financials involved with your school, fundraising, money, and I mean what it takes to keep Praxis feet on the ground and going.
I mean, it takes a lot. Obviously, education is not cheap.
No.
And if we're doing individualized learning and catering athletically to our athletes, we obviously need money to be able to fund that, to get coaches, to get programs, to get curriculum. It's crazy. Like when I went to school, I didn't think about how much curriculum costs, but it's not cheap.
Sure.
So we have to work that out. We've done a great job of kind of grassroots, growing it, expanding as we grow.
Okay.
And now we're kind of at that point where, we're either going to look for lenders or we're doing some 501s. We're trying to get students that don't have necessarily the means to get into our school.
Gotcha.
We're trying to get them to our school. We think that parents and no matter how much money they have or they don't have should have an opportunity for this.
Of course.
I wish I would have had this growing up, or some of the kids that I know that would have had this growing up, they would have been able to do the things they wanted to do.
Sure.
Right. So we're looking for that. We have we just got a 501 a fiscal sponsor. So now we're gonna start some fundraising to do that. And so I'll send you that information.
Please do. Absolutely.
We'd love to open up your paycheck, and your wallet for us. I know you got that big. No, but we're looking for that. So it's going to be a great opportunity for us to get some kids into our school.
Right. As you go out into the community and for lack of a better term, fundraise, once you start explaining exactly what Praxis is all about, I'm curious, what's the response from people? Are they more apt to quickly open that checkbook, or is it a wait and see?
I think, I've done it just a little bit recently, and I've had some very eager sponsors that wanted to be involved. I think what we're doing for kids and in the community and while we're there, I think a lot of times, when I was growing up, when I was getting those big paychecks, right?
Sure.
When I was in the league, I was getting people that wanted money, but we didn't really know what they were doing with it,
Yeah, unfortunately.
So I think this is an opportunity for people that want to give and see where their money goes and how it affects our, the kids that go to our school. This is a great one.
Yeah.
You're going to see a dramatic improvement on, kids and opportunities for kids to play, kids education and whatever, and being community leaders. We do a lot of community service and things of that nature for our community. So.
You know what it takes to get to the very top of the peak as a Super Bowl champion, and there's luck involved. You got to stay free of injury. There's just sometimes, as we always say, the ball bounces in funny ways, and a lot of the times you look back on a season after you get your ring and you think, well, the ball bounced our way, but you have a plan, and everyone's got to buy into that plan. How much of that, as a Super Bowl champion and NFL veteran of 11 years, do you apply to what you're doing with Praxis Elite?
I think everything. To be able to get to that place and that pinnacle of, not even a Super Bowl, just to be able to get to a college scholarship, right? You have to apply everything possible that you've learned from the leaders that have been trying to teach you how to be dedicated, how to be committed, how to be resilient, how to push through things. I think if we're an employer and we're looking for employees, those are the kind of attributes I'm looking for, right?
Of course.
So I try to use that and teach that to our kids. And I have other coaches that are on my staff and my co-founder. We're all about that. We're about every element you can teach for leadership and and that kind of stuff that's got us to the point where we are now, right? The problem with, since we're talking about the NFL, that is a great dream to have. It is, for me, that was everything. But the odds, if you're looking at it, is very, very, very slim, right? So, but all we can do is control the controllables as we're grinding.
Okay.
Our effort, our attitude, the things that we do, the work that we put in. Do you feel tired that day? I don't care. You get up and you put in the work. You get in that book. You make sure you have the grades, because if you don't have the grades, you lose that opportunity. You don't have a chance to see that, right? So everything that you're supposed to do, everything you have to do, you do that. And as you get through that, that becomes a habit. Right, we practice good habits and we stack them.
Yep.
And next, maybe you don't go to the NFL, but with those habits that you created and the things that you're doing, you're gonna do something big, and people are gonna want you around, because that's the kind of people that we want. Yeah.
Nick Barnett is the co-founder of Praxis Elite Sports Academy Junior Prep here in San Diego. When you're trying to drill that into someone who's in 6th grade or 7th grade, and these are very important formative years, not only somebody in a family, but somebody in their school family, the team aspect as well. How tough is it to get them to balance, to hit the balance between the textbook and the playbook?
It's, our kids, we're lucky because we get kids that want to be involved. They come to our school because they're already serious about what we're doing, right?
Okay.
They're already actively grinding, but that doesn't mean it's perfect, because they're kids, right? We can easily get distracted of what we do. But I think the biggest thing is that as a leader, as a father, as a teacher, as a coach, is consistency. If you stay consistent with teaching that message, staying on top of our kids, and bringing it in a positive, uplifting beat where they're excited to hear about it, right? And that energy, I think, for me, when I was a kid, I got that kind of energy sooner than someone saying,
exactly.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So we coach our coaches and our teachers to be more positive and uplifting, but stay consistent, stay disciplined, stay on top of them. And I think our kids are starting to grasp that. They have been grasping it, but they're kids, right? So we got to be consistent. Our parents are very involved in our school, right? We do a once a month Friday meeting with great speakers and counselors, so that we're all on the same page and we're building great habits as leaders.
What was your last year in the NFL?
Dang, man, don't date me back, man. I'm just kidding. 2014.
Okay, so the kids that are in your school, they know Mr. Barnett is the co-founder, Moore is the co-founder of Praxis Elite. Obviously, their parents, if they're football fans or know anything, about the NFL, they know who Nick Barnett, the Oregon State Beaver, the Green Bay Packer, is. So when you're talking, do these kids, Mr. Barnett, tell us about when you played in the NFL, tell us about that. Does it register with them? Or are you more the administrator of what is an incredible place for them to be every day?
I think a little bit of both. The great thing about this day and age now is that they have internet, right? They got access to all my videos or whatever, if
they don't have to go to encyclopedia kids, like we did.
Like we had to go find a book and be like, wait, Nick.
There's his picture.
So they're able to go and they can see what I used to do, right, whatever in my past, and they're always very curious and they ask questions. Some ask more than others. And I'm always willing to talk about, not that I love talking about myself, but I'm down if it's going to help my kids or help anybody in any kind of way, right? Capacity,
right.
Or they just want to hear about it, right? They ask a lot about it, but to most of, I think I'm just Coach Barnett. Right? They didn't grow up watching me play. They might have played some Madden every once in a while and threw me on a throwback team or something like that. But yeah, it's a different experience. My older kids, when I was coaching about maybe 7 years ago, I had more people that saw me playing.
Okay.
I was coaching some high school kids and doing some linebacker training. They kind of, yeah, I know you, Coach Barnett. I seen you play. They talk about games and certain,
Gotcha.
playoff games, stuff like that. So it's a little different now that we're a little bit removed from, a lot removed from when I was playing. Let's just say.
So we got about a minute left. And again, thank you so much for the time. It's always great to sit and chat with you. And I could sit here and just talk football with you probably for hours and hours. But for people who are seeing this business spotlight, for people who, the light has gone on thinking, I want my kid with that guy and his team, I want them at Praxis. What's the best way to reach out? What's the best way to find out?
First of all, just go to our website, praxiselite.com.
Okay.
You'll get all the information there. Our email addresses are there. The enrollment portal's there. And if you need to find us on Instagram, Praxis Elite.
Okay.
So we would love to answer any questions that parents have, our kids may have. Our enrollment's getting close to, you either going to your other school or you're going to have, it's time to make that choice here.
Sure.
So a lot of people, are uninformed of how long they can wait till it. But we're here to inform you. Anything you need that you want to ask about our school or just micro schooling and school choice in general, let us know.
Can people come and take tours, and can they visit or shadow, things like that?
Absolutely. We have shadow days for kids. That's where you'll reach out and we'll talk. We'll guide you through the whole process. We want you to come and see if that's the kind of school you want to go to before you go.
Gotcha. Praxiselite.com is the website. This is their co-founder, Nick Barnett, a good friend of us here on the Business Spotlight. Nick, always great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time. That is Sullivan, missing only Sullivan as the Big Biz show rolls on. Live from the Loft 100 studios. Whoever watching or listening, thanks for being along for the ride. Costa and Mary Burt Godwin with you today. Another special edition of Nunya. Nunya Business is what we call the Big Biz when Sully and Greg are not with us. And the birthday celebration.
The birthday month continues. Well,
So
because
does it-
I was
okay, is
actually,
there-
here's the deal, is I was actually at a dance competition over the weekend with
Did
my
you win?
daughters.
Oh, your
My-
daughters. Okay.
Yes, I would have won, but and so it was fun, but I didn't. It was not. It wasn't all about me. So we
So
are-
it was boring.
No, so we're going on a little vacation, and we're going to
okay.
New York, and we're going to some theater shows. So that's
Gotcha.
going to be my actual
The culmination.
whole full week of birthday celebrating in
birthday.
New York. Yeah,
All right, very fun. When are you going? Like next week or
Soon,
something?
yeah.
Okay, good for you.
so I'll be gone.
Yeah. I know I speak on behalf of everybody with Loft 100 Studios when I say we are so glad it's coming to an end. Oh my God. You know what's not coming to an end is the price of gold. Look at that segue.
Good work. Good work.
Yeah, thank you very much. I get paid the
we
big
need
bucks
it
for
even
that.
more right now, I think.
We do. Joining us is Mr. Alan Hibbard, precious metals and alternative money specialist. His company is Gold Silver. Website goldsilver.com. Alan, welcome to the Big Biz Show. We certainly appreciate you jumping on and talking some gold with us. How are you, sir?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, before we talk about prices of gold and where to go and get gold and stuff like that, is it finite as far as the supply that man knows of in the world, or do we really have a true gauge of how much gold there is if we haven't really been able to explore every single square inch of the earth to find it?
Yeah, it's a great question. And actually, your question sort of hints at why gold is even a store of value in the first place. So I would argue that the supply of gold is essentially infinite, but for practical purposes, it's capped by our ability to go out and get new gold. So the reason that gold is a store of value is because some of it is accessible to us, and that's relatively easy to get.
Sure.
And some other gold in the future is going to be a lot harder to get. We're going to have to spend much more energy to get it. And so as a result, anyone who has kept gold until that time is going to be able to sell it at that new higher price, representing a higher cost of getting new units. So the supply of gold is essentially limited, and that's what makes it a store of value.
Hey, Alan, I want to ask, in this climate of, the market is unsure, what's going on with, all the things are kind of uncertain in question. So, there's cryptocurrency out there. All the things are happening. Inflation. Now, how does that affect gold and silver? Does it bode well for your industry?
Yes, absolutely. It bodes well. And I think that's why gold and silver have both had fantastic years recently, outperforming the S&P, for example. And so, yeah, whenever you have a period of uncertainty, people start to cling to something they can control, something they can get their hands on, something they know isn't going to disappoint them down the road. And if you look at so much of what's happening in the world, we sort of have a crisis of leadership really everywhere. And that accounts for leaders of countries, leaders of other institutions who have, broadly speaking, either been negligent, to put it nicely, or outright corrupt, right, in the worst of cases. And that's across the globe. So, of course, there are standout exceptions, but broadly speaking, we have a failure of leadership. And when that happens, people turn to something that doesn't have a leader. So gold doesn't have a leader. There's no one in charge of all the gold. And same with silver, for example, and same with Bitcoin. So if you're unhappy with your leadership, if there's uncertainty about how they're going to behave, what kind of rules they're going to enact, whether or not they're going to enforce those rules, and if they're going to be good or bad for you and your family, you can really just take a lot of uncertainty out of the equation by going to something that doesn't have a leader, that can't be corrupted. So that's gold, silver, and Bitcoin. So that's really good for our industry.
Alan Hibbard, precious metals alternative money specialist. His company, Gold Silver. Their website is goldsilver.com. Alan, what's the craziness going over in London? What are they experiencing with gold?
Yeah, they're getting rid of it, basically. So in London, they're selling a lot of their gold. They're selling a lot of the gold off the LBMA, moving that to Switzerland, refining it for bars that are acceptable in the United States, and shipping them to New York. And the reason for that is that there's one or more large investors in the United States, and we could speculate who that might be. It might even be the federal government, who are going to take physical delivery of gold sometime in the very near future. So the gold stockpiles on the COMEX have gone from roughly 10 million ounces to 40 million ounces. It's gone up by a factor of 4 in just a few months. This is basically unprecedented. It happened during COVID, but that was the first time. So now it's happening again. So that means somebody is taking a lot of gold in physical delivery, and it's coming from London. So we don't know who that is. It could be the U.S. government preparing for an audit of Fort Knox. We could speculate about that. But either way, it means the price of gold is moving up, and that's probably going to continue for the foreseeable future.
So that segues into my next question, which is about silver. I was just mentioning my kids' dance competitions. Silver is below gold in the medal or the awards category. The Olympics everywhere. Yeah. In dance categories too. So, but right now silver is looking like an attractive buy. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. So while gold is at its all-time high, over $3,000 an ounce, silver is still below its all-time high. So you could think of it as being on sale. It's almost like a 33% discount. So if you like the product, it's better to buy it on sale, and that's definitely silver right now. And historically, silver outperforms gold during these bull runs. So it does ultimately rise a lot more in price. However, you pay the price of volatility. So if you're not happy seeing the ups and downs day to day in your portfolio, maybe silver isn't a good fit for you. Also, you tend to have to wait longer to experience those gains, but they are bigger over time. So I think gold and silver are both attractive right now. I have both in my portfolio, and they're both good picks for most people.
Alan, if I go to goldsilver.com, can I physically buy bullion from you?
Or a big brick.
Or a big brick, or a nose ring or something like that?
You can, yes, if you go to goldsilver.com, you can buy coins and bars of gold and silver. They're all investment grade. So you're not going to get scammed. You're not going to buy anything that looks like it's, investment grade gold, but then it's actually only a tiny fraction of gold. No, we don't do that on our website at all. There's no collectibles. You don't have to worry about numismatic value. It's all investment grade stuff. And you can even get stuff for your IRA if you do it before April 15th.
Will you do me a favor? Will you promise to come back on our show?
Yeah.
We do not have an official Big Biz Show gold person. And what you were just able to explain to me, someone who's got nothing but cement between his ears, not gold, I'm like, all right, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Will you come back on with us, please?
I would love to. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alan Hibbard, precious metals and alternative money specialist, goldsilver.com is his website. This show has been gold because we have Sullivan in studio. We have everybody who makes the show possible behind the scenes. For Mary Britt Godwin, I'm Mike Costa. Thanks for tuning in to the Big Biz Show. We'll see you again next time.